Welcome to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guests on this next interview. The Moldovans chose their new parliament. The pro-European Party of Action and Solidarity won the Sunday's ballot in a landslide. With early results and reactions already shaping the post-election debate, questions are being raised about democratic safeguards, banned parties, and influence of outside powers. Joining us now on TVP World is Eusebiu Slavitescu, a former Romanian diplomat and seasoned observer of regional politics. Hello, sir, and welcome to TVP World.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So, well, at this point, the results are pretty much in the bag, and let's start with that. From your perspective, what do you think this tells us about where Moldovan society stands, and how clear is the mandate that has emerged?
Well, let me start by saying this has been the most consequential elections for Moldova. The choice was continuing the European integration, going towards the European family where they actually belong, or going back to the Russian sphere of influence. And they have been there. We had several pro-Russian governments, and we know all too well what that brings. Corruption, poverty, and all those sins. Now, this was a clear choice. Actually, I was impressed by how the Moldovans really understood the stakes, and they went on and voted. Nobody actually expected this victory to be so impressive, considering the millions of dollars of this Russian massive machine that they have been fueling in Moldova, because the stakes for Russia, as I was saying with you in another interview, they remain colossal, high. Because if a pro-Russian government would come in power, then you can find yourself with a new military base and a new point from where Russia can launch missiles and other stuff towards Ukraine. It's also a way to attack Odessa, which the Russians have been tried for a long, long time. So the stakes for these elections, they were really well understood by our brothers and sisters Moldovans, and I'm really proud of them. What's next? They are coming home. Moldova is coming home, the European home, and I'm really glad for that.
All right. Well, like you mentioned, I think a lot of people were surprised by the electoral victory, not the fact that they won, but by the margin that is a lot bigger than a lot of people have expected. And my question would be whether or not this is a testament of the success by the pro-European PAS party, or is it like a major fumble for the opposition?
Both, I guess. The opposition have been quite weak, with the same personage, with the same people over and over again. It's obviously that they are not appealing to anybody anymore. On the other side, Maia Sandu has been doing a tremendous work. I mean, this European integration, which they are so close to it, this brings real opportunities for people. Pretty soon, Moldovans will live much better off than the Russians, as was the case for Romanians 20 years ago. Right now, the Romanian GDP per capita, way higher than that of Russia. And this is the European dream. I was wondering, what made this small country, these people, and they are struggling, and they have faced these massive, unlimited resources from Russia, and we have seen it with the police, hundreds of millions of dollars poured in. It's probably because there's a vision of Maia Sandu. She came up and presented this vision, you know, this dream, this European dream, which is very palpable. You know, Moldovans, they can travel in the European Union without visa-free. They can go to Romania. A lot of them have Romanian passports. These are really tangible results that she delivered. And, well, from what I've seen, Moldovans, they understand all too well this. And to be very honest with you, I think we Romanians, I think the Polish, and a lot of the countries in the region, they have a lot to learn from what happened in the past weeks in Moldova.
Right, like I mentioned, there's a lot of resources being pumped into influencing this election ahead of the vote. Well, both sides are worried about the risk of provocations and riots in the country if the votes turn out to be a little too close, because that tends to happen when you have a very close vote, which now doesn't seem to be the case. What is making these influence so ineffective when it comes to targeting Moldova as opposed to other countries that Russia also tries to put their fingers in?
Well, it's very easy. Moldova understands the language of criminal Vladimir Putin. They understand the Russian textbook manuals. And if you have watched the past few days and weeks with all the arrests, with all the, for example, a woman was found with $100 million in crypto wallet. And those money were there to, for the buyout of the votes. And Moldovan authorities, they behaved exemplary. As I've seen a lot of reporting that, is it democratic to ban political parties? Is it democratic to ban a specific person? Well, in a democracy, we work up with rules. And those rules were breached by these people. When you have 200 arrests one day, and when you have millions of dollars that are found, when you see there's been a lot of reporting, very well documented by the BBC, by other journalists, where they infiltrated this group, coordinated by an FSB officer, giving them instructions what to post on TikTok, what to post on Facebook. The European Union is bad, to push up this Kremlin's agenda. And the authorities, they behaved exemplary. Because, again, it is not undemocratic in a democracy, being even, it's a fragile democracy in Moldova. It's a young democracy. But if we are not respecting the laws, the criminal code and so on and so forth, then that is not a democracy anymore. So if you ask me, is it democratic what happened? Absolutely. Illegal financing, it's against the law. Not just in Moldova, in Romania too. Remember the political drama that we had in Romania? They tried the same thing, except Moldova has proved to be a lot more resilient than we Romanians.
So, like you mentioned as well, Moldova's could serve as an example going forward, especially with other countries that are also perhaps experiencing the same sort of meddling and influence. What do you think this victory mean, and do you think that the same could be replicated elsewhere, or do you think the kind of differences in culture or differences in geopolitically is going to, have a different result going forward?
Well, as I said, we should really look at Moldova and take those lessons learned from them, the know-how, how to deal with this. And again, Moldova, it's a small country with very limited resources. And if Moldova can do it, really, what's stopping Romania or Poland or any other country to do it? Because Russia will continue with the provocations. We see it every day now with drones in Denmark, in Sweden, in Romania, in Poland. These provocations, they will only intensify. And they understand, again, criminal Russia only understands firmness. If you ask Russia to do something, they don't care about that. They don't care about European Union being deeply worried. They don't care. So with them, you respect the law and you apply the law. This is what Moldova has done, if you ask me. And look, it's working. It's also a win for the European Union, which has invested a lot, as I said previously. We had Emmanuel Macron, we have Frederick Merz going there, Donald Tusk, and that helped. It's also a statement that this European dream, it's still very attractive.
Right. Speaking of which, we got a little bit of time, and I was wondering, what's the future like going forward for Moldova, and how is that going to help with the integration? Are we going to see a rapid integration into the European Union soon?
Most likely. We've seen the language coming from the European Union. We know that the majority, actually, I think the unanimity of the member states, they agree with Moldova with a fast track. If you follow up the requirements, the conditions, they are doing tremendous progress. Actually, every week, they are doing more and more. So I'm looking at, as I said, Moldova coming home. And they always belong to this European home, just like the Polish did and do, just like the Romanians, although the Soviet Union tried to pull us back into that criminal sphere of influence.
All right, thank you so much for your input and insight. Really appreciate it. Cheers. And thank you for tuning into this edition of World Talks. For more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.